Hi, I'm Danny Ramos, and welcome to this week's edition of Hispanic Speak Out TV, brought to you on Bright House Cable, Channel 49 for the past 14 years. My name is Danny Ramos, and I'm with Jose Miranda. We present Hispanic Speak Out on Channel 49 every week, bringing you issues of concern to our community. Jose, today we're going to be talking a little bit about veterans, okay? I did take a ride down to the City Hall area where the Amway is. And at 4 o'clock this afternoon, I think it was 3 o'clock this afternoon, and they were about, I would say,
Pine Hill area.
It's right behind the Amway. Yeah. You know, on Church Street, you go around the back of the Amway.
Here
it's
in
right
Orlando.
there. Here in Orlando. Yeah. I mean, 3 blocks from City Hall.
Okay.
Okay. So you know, it's on the other side of I-4 where the Amway is, and then right behind the Amway. Yeah. There's some big open spaces there, and I ran into about 40 homeless people, and most of them are homeless vets. Okay. And there's a combination of reasons why there are homeless vets. That's not to make excuses for them. That means that nobody is paying attention to this particular group of vets on an individual basis. So it leads me to believe, and I didn't get into it with anybody, but it leads me to believe that the attention given to the vets is mass attention. It's like, it's not customized to the individual needs. Now, I know what you don't find in the Veterans Administration for medical, it's individual because your needs are individual. But for the other needs, it seems to be a mass approach. You know what I mean? And
I don't think the first of all, these are the things that happen. We've been in too many wars, and it's the numbers. Okay, when this system was set up, it was set up to do World War I, maybe World War II, and they thought that would be the end. You know what I'm saying? Now we're 4 or 5 different wars. We have so many mass injuries in so many categories, and a lot of that stuff is mental too. So they're not even screening. When I was in the service, when you came back, you went through a barrage of doctors.
You were in a service in Vietnam War.
Yes, I was.
Did you go to Vietnam?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so when you came back, you were one of the guys that people spit on.
Yes.
Because they didn't want to know about you guys.
No, there were
you
no.
You went to empty airports. As a matter of fact, I remember seeing on the news when 1 or 2 vets coming through an airport in New York, and people threw stuff at them.
Yeah, it was a tough time. The country was going through a lot of changes. I'm not bemoaning that particular era. It's changed. Now they come home to crowds, cheering crowds. The airport stops and they're being cheered, and I applaud that. I think that's awesome that they're getting that attention. They should, because I will point out to you, and I've said it to you several times, 1% of the population serves. 1%, man. 99% of the people are home watching TV.
They're watching the football game.
Yeah, they're cutting up, they're doing their thing. They don't care. But if it's on the TV screen too much with the news, then they care. Okay? If they think they're going to get drafted, whoa, they step up.
Well, that's gone already.
That's the mentality. Yeah. If it's going to affect me in the long run, I'm going to protest. Yeah. But basically, you know, I used to think of protesters. I loved them because I wanted them to be in front of me when I was out there. I will stand back gladly, and they can carry their signs. If they last more than 5 minutes, I'm with them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. If they don't last 5 minutes, I'm sorry. We'll mail you back just like we mail everybody else. Yeah. But that's not the point. The point is mental health is a big issue that's being overlooked. And unless the veteran himself steps up and says something, it's not going to happen.
Was it the fact that we're a Facebook society that has brought mental health to the forefront? Because when the guys came back from World War II, there wasn't this mental health thing.
No, they put them right back in public.
They put them back and, go to work.
You came off the ship, and the next day you were driving the cab the same cab.
So what's the difference? Because World War II was a mess.
Right. I'm not sure whether it's a psychological thing of the generation, stronger-minded, and I'm not putting down this generation, but it seems to be there was a call to arms when in the earlier wars. There was a reason. There was this patriotic fever to go forward and do these great things.
And everybody was involved.
Everybody. There wasn't a single aspect of society.
That could be it. Everybody was involved, no matter where you went. Right. Everybody was on the war effort.
Right. There was nothing.
Or else we would have lost the country. Now, this particular thing is like we're in wars, but that's a sidebar. That's got to do with those guys, not us.
That's like going to a club. That club says war, and the 110 clubs over here say something else, I'm going to pay all attention to the 110 clubs, and the hell with the one club that says war. Because we don't want to recognize that.
Yeah. So right now, I went down there and there was a whole bunch of homeless vets.
Right.
None of them wanted to come to the TV show because they were embarrassed. They don't want to tell people that they're homeless.
Right. They don't.
They're very proud.
Yes, they are.
They're very proud. And the feeling that I got is that you could talk to them and they're beautiful to talk to and conversational, everything, but they don't want to know.
No,
they don't want to know. They don't want anybody to know that they're homeless.
They are also afraid to step forward. They're afraid to be outside their norm. They've created this world of homelessness and the veterans and the society. And you and I have been in the woods here in Orlando. Whole societies exist in the woods. And the main highway is, what, half a mile to 10 steps maybe in some cases? And how many people pay attention to what's going on in there? None. Unless something happens in there. Then they go, oh, those people got to go.
Yeah.
Other than that, and veterans are very well organized because they continue the same organizational skills that they learned in the service. The question is why they're homeless. What made them drop out of society? And why aren't they stepping up? Because the public is going to say that. You're a healthy young man. You served. You look like you got everything with you. So what's wrong with you?
Who is the public? The guys that didn't go to face bullets.
That's exactly.
And beheadings.
And those are the guys that are out there that are driving the pickup trucks and doing well or whatever jobs they're doing, and they frown upon you not trying because you look healthy. And that's how our society is, unfortunately. That's how you guys look at us sometimes. And you look at people. How many of you have passed the corners where people are with signs, I need food, give me something? Not to say that all, and of course some of them are not legit, but are you going to tell me that you don't have 50 cents in your cup holder? $1 that you can't give? So what's up with that?
So what do you think about people that have hundreds of millions of dollars in their bank account?
Right.
They made it. They made it on their own.
Sure.
They made that money by luck, by whatever.
Whatever they got.
Whatever they were lucky enough to have.
Right.
$500 million.
Sure.
What do you think about people like that when there's homeless people living down the street? How do you rationalize that?
Ideally, you would say that they, from the sweat of their brows, they were successful in life and they were doing things.
But do you not think they're hoarders?
I am thinking that there's only X amount of money that you can spend in one lifetime. A lifetime, maybe even a day. How much money can you spend in a day? Okay, no matter how progressive you are, you want to buy 10 boats, whatever it is, how much can you spend in a day that you can't spend $1?
And get the paperwork done.
And get the paperwork done. And, right, the paperwork is most
That's
things.
the most.
Okay, and not be able to give to somebody else. And we need to get away from that thing. And yes, they do have some mental issues out there. The process now, when they come out, they're being checked now. They're being checked. But there's so many veterans that a lot of them are going through the cracks, and that's the problem. We don't have enough medical staff, and there's too many veterans.
There was you're going to be interviewing one vet who is homeless.
Yes.
That we met behind the Amway, who is going to introduce us to a lot more vets.
Yes.
So we're going to try to bring them back to the show. We're going to take a camera on the street. I think homelessness is a tremendous embarrassment for this country and for this community. Period. There's no reason why.
Not with the wealth that this country has.
No, and not with the wealth that individuals have. I mean, you can make excuses to, we got to make the taxpayers do it. Right. But there are people with $1 billion in the bank in cash. Now,
Agreed.
I believe in self-development and all of that,
absolutely.
but there comes to a point where I think that kind of having that kind of money and not helping people is a sickness.
Yeah, it's a shame.
It's like a hoarder. You have the show of hoarders, where these people start keeping all this stuff in this house. Well, there's a guy who keeps money in his bank.
Well, it's hard to break.
A hoarder.
It's hard to break away from the caviar, man.
Yeah, think so? One of the things that I've always that we're going to cover, and I want to do this show with you next, maybe next week, is the religious aspect.
Yes, faith is a big thing among veterans and a big thing among the homeless. The faith is so strong, it boggles the mind, and it makes you want to say, okay, God can help you so much. What are you doing for yourself? But it's what God does for me.
They maybe, and I'm not a psychologist, but I'm just listening to your conversation. They look for a safety margin, a safety zone.
Right.
And since they have nothing, the safety zone is spiritual, which is something that they can try to capture and find mental comfort in.
And it's omnipresent. It's all over the place.
It's all over the place, and all they got to do is pluck it and mentally dive into it.
Right, and they're safe.
And they're safe.
Yeah.
They're safe because nobody else is helping them. So religion
I agree with that.
is something that they can really latch onto, and that may prevent their sanity from going out the window.
I hope so for those that are affected, but they're going to be a small portion that are not going to be serviced, and that's the issue. And because the issue is 1% of the population, we should really try really hard to address that.
1% of the population is a lot of people to be taken care of, because we have 330 million people.
I'm not saying, but then don't go to war, man.
That's like 9 million people.
Okay, don't go to war.
Well, that's another show. That's really another show, because you know, we've been at war. This country has been at war all the time. It doesn't stop being at war.
I know, but we've got to stop the donut rolling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's got to stop sometime.
We got to catch up.
All right. This is Danny Ramos on Hispanic Speak Out. Don't go away, because Jose is going to interview a homeless vet that we met behind the Amway in downtown Orlando, just a few blocks from walking distance of City Hall, where there seems to be a large cluster of homeless vets that sleep out on the street, literally out on the sidewalk at night. We'll be right back.